On June 17th, China launched its third and most advanced aircraft carrier. The 80,000-ton giant was christened with a bottle of champagne amid plumes of colorful smoke, multicolored streamers, and water jets before mooring at its pier in China State Shipbuilding's Jiangnan Shipyard in Shanghai, in celebration of a milestone in the country's ambitions to modernize its military. The Chinese Navy has indeed come a long way in a short period of time. But while Fujian represents a significant increase in Chinese naval combat power, it has some glaring problems. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why the Chinese latest aircraft carrier, Fujian, is no match to American supercarriers. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. For over a decade, China has been steadily building up plans to deploy 6 aircraft carriers. The plan also made provisions so that the carriers are of progressively higher capability. China's first carrier, the Type 001 Liaoning, is actually an old Soviet-era Kuznetsov-class carrier. The second carrier, Shandong, launched in 2017, designated the Type 002 at its commissioning ceremony, was China's first entirely domestically built carrier. It's essentially a copy of Type 001 with very small improvements. China's third carrier, Fujian, is significantly larger and more capable, but is not perfect. Unlike the Ford and Nimitz carrier, Fujian is not nuclear-powered. This means that its speed, endurance, and long-range operational capabilities would still be limited. It will be heavily dependent on support ships to undertake major missions. The heart of any American aircraft carrier is the nuclear reactors which provide the required power. The Ford class has 2 Bechtel A1B nuclear reactors. Each one of these is capable of producing 300 megawatts of electricity, triple the 100 megawatts of each Nimitz-class vessel. Not only does this enable practically unlimited range and endurance, but the huge power supply also provides the setup required for future expansions, like inducting lasers. Nimitz-class carriers launch planes using steam-actuated catapults. The system requires a lot of steam piping, a large condensate return, and tons of fresh water. They tend to require quite a bit of maintenance. Plus, with steam catapults, the majority of the force gets transferred to the airplane at the beginning of the stroke in a jolt. This puts stress on an airframe and thus reduces the lifespan of multi-million-dollar planes. Ford class uses Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, the first to do so. The system uses a linear induction motor with an electric current to generate a magnetic field. That field then propels a carriage down a track. Since the power delivery is linear, it negates the deficiencies of the steam catapult. This also would be more suitable for launching next-generation fighters as well as drones. But EMALS has not been perfected yet, and many lingering issues persist. For example, while launching FA-18 aircraft, vibrations were detected when fuel tanks were attached to Super Hornets. Changes had to be made to the software, and the system was adjusted to remove the vibrations. The power supply requirement is also massive. EMALS motor generator, which is part of a suite of equipment called the Energy Storage Subsystem, weighs over 80,000 pounds alone. The Energy Storage Subsystem also includes the generator control tower and the Stored Energy Exciter power supply. The Gerald R. Ford-class carriers require 12 such suites. Emails in Ford-class is designed to deliver up to 60 megajoules of electricity and 60 megawatts at its peak in the 3 seconds it takes to launch a Navy aircraft. This amount of power could handle about 12,000 homes. Liaoning and Shandong feature a curved ski jump ramp that limits the fuel and weapons payload carried by J-15 Shark fighters. Fujian is deploying emails, but as evident, the technology has been found to be tricky and may not be best suited for a non-nuclear power carrier. American carriers can carry a flight group of more than 60 fixed-wing aircraft, including FA-18 Super Hornets, EA-18G Growler, F-35C Stealth Fighter, Northrop Grumman's E-2C Hawkeye, as well as rotary aircraft like Sikorsky MH-6. FA-18 Super Hornet is a twin-engine, supersonic, all-weather, carrier-capable 4th-generation multi-role fighter aircraft. They have a payload of 7,700 kilograms, or 17,000 pounds, and can carry ground attack weapons as well as air-to-air missiles. The EA-18G Growler is an airborne electronic attack AEA aircraft. It's capable of electronic attack EA and suppression of enemy air defense SEAD, particularly at the start and ongoing early stages of hostilities. Northrop Grumman's E-2C Hawkeye is a carrier-capable AWACS aircraft. It's designed to give long-range warning of incoming aerial threats and has a secondary role of command and control. American carriers are also on the way to deploying next-generation platforms like 5th-generation F-35C stealth fighter jets, as well as MQ-25 Stingray unmanned aerial tankers. While China is making progress, it doesn't have such a well-balanced air fleet for its carriers. For example, J-15 Flying Shark, which is a derivative or illegal copy of the Russian Su-33, is referred to as flopping fish by Chinese media itself for its inability to operate effectively from the Chinese carrier. China is working on a stealthy fighter designated as J-31 for its carriers, but it still has a long way to go before it can be inducted. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.